Today we will be discussing the following information for collecting surface water samples: the scope and application, method summary, sample preservation, containers, handling, and storage, interference and potential problems. This standard operating procedure is applicable to the collection of representative liquid samples, both aqueous and non-aqueous, from streams, rivers, lakes, ponds, lagoons, and surface impoundments. Equipment. The following items will be needed in order to collect a surface water sample: a dipper sampler, deionized water, tape measure, sample bottles, twine, paper towels, chain of custody seals, pins, Chem Mets kit, X-Tech probe, pH probe, Chem Met sample vials, ice chest, glass sample containers, ice pack, latex gloves, goggles, safety vest, and the chain of custody record. Procedures: preparation, sample collection. Preparation. Determine the extent of the sample location, sampling methods to be conducted, and proper equipment to undergo successful sampling. Prepare schedules and coordinate with staff, client, and regulatory agencies if appropriate. Make sure to decontaminate and calibrate all needed equipment. Next, determine the sample location appropriate for your site. Remember, samples must be taken within 30 minutes of a rainfall event, and samples must be representative of the source. Next, use stakes, measuring tape, and twine to mark all sampling locations. Systematic random sampling was used during this procedure, but sampling techniques may vary. Sample collection. A control sample using deionized water needs to be collected for quality assurance purposes. Using the dipper sampler, extend the device into the water and retrieve the sample. It is important to disturb the water the least amount as possible to ensure an adequate sample. Next, place the sample in the appropriate labeled container. Using the conductivity meter and pH probe, measure the temperature, pH, conductivity, and total dissolved solids of the sample and document them in the field logbook. Be sure to calibrate and sterilize the machines between each sample. Next, seal the samples with an airtight lid and place a chain of custody seal across the top. Finally, place all samples in a chilled cooler for sample preservation. Once samples are collected, a DOC measurement should be taken to determine the dissolved oxygen content of each sample location. Take a 25 milliliter sample container and fill it with the designated water sample. Next, take a Chem Met sample vial and insert it into the container with the water sample. Press the vial gently against the wall of the container to break the tip off. Allow the vial to fill up with water. Cap the end of the broken vial with your finger and then invert several times to mix together. Using the scale provided by the Chem Met kit, measure the dissolved oxygen content. It is important to take a larger sample to monitor the dissolved oxygen content after an extended period of time. Quality assurance, quality control. For quality assurance and quality control purposes, chain of custody seals, labels, and a control sample are required. Documentation using a chain of custody is vital when transporting all samples from the site location to the laboratory. When working with potentially hazardous materials, follow U.S. EPA, OSHA, and ecocentric health and safety procedures in addition to the procedures specified in the site-specific health and safety plan. When sampling surface impoundments containing unknown or hazardous substances, adequate precautions must be taken to ensure the safety of sampling personnel. The sampling team member collecting the samples should not get too close to the edge of the impoundment to prevent accidental injury. Protective equipment should be worn at all times.